You said so many amazing things. I'm really taken back. One thing I do want to hear all about, because I feel like you're all about leadership and about promoting our maintenance to really elevate themselves. And that really sings to my heart. I think that's something that is really important to me. Can you walk me through is that the Morguard Maintenance Academy? Am I saying it correct? I want to hear all about this. How can I enroll? What is it all about?
Post pandemic, and I see Adrian talks about this a lot, is that we are struggling to find maintenance professionals. That is not just a Morgan problem, that is an industry problem. So when I took over the role in 2021, I said to myself, how can I help? How can I help Morguard? How can I help the industry fix this hole? To the point that I spoke to earlier, me hiring inexperienced people. This is a practice that I've always done. So this is something that I'm used to. I always train them to the academy. It just wasn't written down on paper. So I just needed to how do I get to what I used to do in the field? How do I get that on paper that can then be rolled out across 13 states and get 34 community managers to buy into it and really change organizationally how we think about training and developing people. I set off on this journey to create this program. We call it the Morguard Maintenance Academy. It started off as a 100-day training program, has a lot of different monikers, but at the end of the day, the goal is to take somebody like an Adrian with zero experience, like the groundskeeper like myself that just walks out of their apartment and says, how do I get a job here? And turn them into a semi-skilled maintenance professional within give or take 100 days. So it's a 12-week program. The first block of it, you really cover what the industry is about, what you're going to be doing, basic curb appeal, and then you build onto it. The bulk of the program is the next phase, bake readies. This is where you're going to learn the majority of your skills. You're going to spend 8 full weeks inside of vacant apartments practicing and performing various different tasks until you are kind of signed off by your mentor that you're able to perform that task. And how we judge that is that when you are able to perform that task independently, as if you were training it to your mentor, that is what we consider you are now a master of that task, right? So you're able, because we feel that if you're able to take somebody like myself or Adrian and sort of walk us through and teach us how to change a light switch, for example, now we are 100% confident that you can walk into that resident's home with full confidence that you're going to do the job right, you're going to do it safely, and that you're going to make sure that that resident's taken care of. The final phase of the program is your sort of final 4 weeks of it, is when we introduce you to work orders. And the entire time that you're performing work orders, you're performing them with a mentor so that you learn the skill of how to interact with residents, because I'm a firm believer that that is an acquired skill. That is not something that somebody's going to walk off the street and just know how to interact with a resident, know how to speak to them, know what to say to them, and know how to really explain repairs. Because as Adrian can probably attest to, sometimes you have to explain to residents what you're doing, because you'll all get that resident that asks questions. And guess what? They have every right to ask questions. It's their home. Regardless of whether we own it and they're leasing it or whatever, we want them to feel like it is their home. So they have every right to ask us, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And why is this broken? And I think that that is missed by a lot of maintenance technicians. Sometimes they get frustrated when they're asked questions, but I encourage them to think empathetically about the fact that this is their home. If somebody went into your grandmother's house, you would probably want them to be doing the best job possible, right? So go do the best job possible for the resident, because that's somebody's grandmother, that's somebody's sister, mother, whatever person that you want to apply that to. I try to give that advice to our maintenance professionals. So once they graduate through the program, then they will be able to get their EPA 608, Adrian. So we'll put them through that toward the end of the program. And they will come out of the program being able to perform a make ready and being able to do probably 75 to 80% of what you would get from a work order perspective. They won't be able to fully replace a compressor. They won't be able to, do a full unit change out, but that comes with the next step of the development, right? We don't just stop and say, all right, you're done with the program and now we're going to walk away, right? It's continuous development. Now at that point, we know they can do all of this. They can help manage to the work orders, to the make readies, to those sort of things. Now we can start to develop them from a more advanced level.